We had a great show on Thursday, and I just want to pick it apart. So you want to talk more about the Beckhams? I bet so much more is unfolded.
Yeah. So welcome to the after show of Not So Christian Brothers. We are Not So Christian Brothers. I met somebody the other day at the funeral, and she gave me a big hug.
Aww.
This elderly woman, I'd say in her 70s, and she went, "Love you guys, Not So Christian Brothers."
That's lovely, so that's their demographic.
I told you that was your demographic.
That's our viewer.
Women between the age of 50 and 70. That's literally
50
our...
and 70?
That's
I
our
blocked
number
it
of
out when you
viewers.
told me.
That's really... That's not correct, is it?
We
Yes.
don't know. We don't know. They don't-
They're older generation, yes. They're higher than over the age of 55 is what it is, 70, but the most that watch our show are women. We have 70% viewership
Should we do
are
a
women.
poll?
Same parents, different timelines, and united by chaos. Strap on, strap in, for the Not So Christian Brothers.
When I was 40, I was in a hotel, and I was there for a business meeting, and I was down at the buffet, and I was standing at the buffet getting my breakfast, and this woman said to me, "Oh, I haven't seen you before," and I went, "No, well, I'm only here for business," and she went, "Oh, okay, but that's great." She goes, but you're part of the tour," and I went, no, sorry, what tour?" And she thought I was part of the Saga Singles Tour.
What's the saga?
So this is for people over 60 who are looking to date. And this was 10 years ago, I was 40.
Oh my God. Did you have the beard then as well?
No.
And that was the moment his life changed.
Sadly, you don't even look old.
Is that the day you bought purple shampoo?
Also, tour?
The
Like, do
day
they
I just
go on
gave up,
tour?
I thought, well, what's the point now?
No, she was just coming on to you. She was just being a divil. She was pretending you were meant to be part of the saga. She was really like, I want a piece
Maybe
of
she
your
was just hoping.
jambon.
That doesn't make me feel any better, because she
Yeah.
was about
You're trying to
65.
reassure him now.
So what? It's not what age she is fancying you. She's just trying to get you on her tour. In inverted
And he would have
commas.
fitted in. This is the whole point.
Okay, no,
He
stop.
would have fitted in, no problem.
Stop being ageist, all of
Look,
you.
just
How can
because
I be ageist? I'm
younger
older than
women
him.
date older men, right?
Younger women date older men, yes.
Right? And a 60-year-old man hits on you and you're 40,
Yes.
right? You don't care
Standard
about
Tuesday.
it. Standard Tuesday.
Yeah.
But if a 60-year-old woman hits on a 40-year-old man,
Yes.
it's not, and she assumes that he is 60 years of age.
Yeah, it's not hot.
Thanks, Terry. Do you want to just rub that in a bit more?
No, keep going, Gary. Keep going, please. Keep going.
Terry's like this 60 years old.
No, Terry's not finished. Sorry for interrupting, Terry.
What I'm just
So
saying is, right?
what should just
So-
do?
Yeah.
Let's go back to the 60-year-old man
Yeah.
that hits on you and he assumes you're 60.
I'd smack him in
Oh,
the face.
yeah.
I would literally get
Exactly.
violent.
So
And that's what happened. I got arrested. A black guy for an old woman.
She went down like a ton of bricks.
She did. I mean, she couldn't take a decent punch. Sorry, I didn't say that.
The Zimmer, the stick, all
That's a bit of
gone.
a saga now. You on the floor. Breakfast all over your face. Scramble that. Oh, I didn't
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
But back to your
Jesus.
opening point.
Oh,
I
yeah.
do. Well, I've always tended to date older women.
Yes.
There's a reason.
Our
for
older
that.
women are happy dating you because you look like their age.
Oh, God.
Probably. But even when I was 20 or
I remember that 62-year-old.
Yeah.
well, I think
You're
I-
pervy. Like, you like Maggie Thatcher in her, like, not even in her prime. Like, this is a mommy issue, Justin. And I can't do Fran today.
It's
We don't
not.
have time
Oh,
to do
God.
Fran.
I-
Of course it
Jesus.
is a mommy
Oh,
issue.
I'm sure he'll walk out. He'll walk out. No.
I date older women. But I didn't know whether it was because I just couldn't pull younger women.
Let's just give
So
it
the
up.
older women weren't as fast.
This is such a weird episode.
That's just
Just
giving
when
up.
you ran after them.
But in fairness, when I met my wife 21 years ago, like even in our wedding photographs, I look like some dodgy old geezer.
Don't. Anna,
a
come
young-
on. I've seen
young
photos
girl.
of you both. You both look gorgeous.
Well,
It's-
then you are like a fine wine.
Your
Thanks,
haircut,
Terry.
you did look like somebody that was getting married, but also had to be in court that afternoon.
Why did you
To
need to
defend
date
themselves
older
against robbing
women?
the car.
Why did you like to date older women?
I think predominantly because I found that it was easier to have a conversation with
Okay.
them.
So it was intellect, it was age, it was experience. It wasn't, okay.
It wasn't. I mean, it wasn't for the sex. I can't tell you whether it was different or better. I don't know.
Because you were like me, you couldn't pull a younger woman.
It could be that as well.
Were you-
A younger woman wouldn't pull you.
I wouldn't pull
Oh,
her.
sorry.
Were you sharing your HRT? Sorry, I can't.
What?
Are you sharing your HRT tablets? I can't.
No,
Sorry.
it's Cialis.
That's back to
It's Cialis.
that's
Like this is
back
but
to
this is
Thursday's show.
this is
I know.
men
I know.
don't get to hear other men talking about sexual health
I know, I
and
agree.
testosterone
I agree.
and prostates. This stuff is like taboo.
Yep.
It
And
has to be
addiction
just
and
spoken
porn and-
about, right? Because do you know what? The biggest impact on mental health is men feeling they can't perform sexually. And often it's just your testosterone is low or your breathing is dysfunctional. There's loads of
not happy in
solutions.
your
Or the
relationship.
expectation of porn. That's
Oh, the
a
expectation.
huge
We're
thing.
going to
with
do
Jim
porn
Jones.
next week. Look, we're
I
not
think
going
we
to do it,
should,
but we're
yeah.
going to talk about it next
We
week.
should
we
do
will.
porn.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think
The
that
four of us
expectation.
doing porn would literally be gangbusters.
So-
and I don't mean like
So, wow,
gang.
using our language is going to be very careful.
I'm going to
next week.
stay quiet right now at this
yeah.
present moment because
Again, even
I
still,
I
don't
don't
I'm
think
going
the
to stay quiet
furniture in
as
this
wrong
studio
as
is going to
well.
work for that.
I don't think I have enough
Green
cameras.
screen would be
There's-
ragged. I can't.
I often
Okay.
watch the BBC4 show, the comedy show. Is it called Just a Minute or whatever it's called? But they do this great stuff where they go along, the comedians, and it can be something you can say in a restaurant that you can also say in the bedroom. And some of them are absolutely hilarious.
Try it on us. do
Service,
it.
please.
Well, there's some,
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Right, okay, yeah,
More
very good.
sauce with that?
More sauce than that, yeah.
Do you want a
Oh,
bit
it
on
was
the,
a
do you
very
want a
funny
bit
one.
on the side?
Oh, well, I hear it's your 60th birthday. Well, we're going to actually stick 2 candles on your brownie.
Oh my God. That's very
Toad in the hole. I'm open to
It's
anything,
bri-
really,
it's
darling.
brilliant. The
Would
way
you
they
like
do
it a little bit spicier?
There we go. There we go.
All right,
Is that,
we covered that
dessert,
off.
is that dessert okay, or is it a little bit sloppy? It's the way you ordered it, you know.
Wow.
What's the
Oh, you need to leave now because I have a bus full of American tourists coming in pretty soon.
spotted dick?
Well, see, that's the obvious one. It's the one that
line.
doesn't sound obvious, you know.
Sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
Black Forest Gatto.
Sorry for not keeping with the like. Anyway,
I think
did-
I dropped a spoon in there. Do you mind if I check?
okay, we did a lot on Greenland, which
Oh, I didn't tell you my Posh Spice story.
okay, yeah. So we did a lot on Greenland, but which we need to talk about because obviously Davos has been and gone.
Yeah.
The Brooklyn thing is going to go on and on and on, and but this stage it might be redundant. But you have been in bed with Vicky.
So, Posh Spice came over to launch her single many, many years ago. I was working on the Strawberry Alarm
Which
Clock.
one was it?
Do you know what? I can't remember, but the one that was beaten to number 1 by
Jane Barris.
yeah, by Groovejet, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But so we said we could get an interview with her at the Herbert Park Hotel. You had a 15-minute window, right? Jim couldn't do it because he had some other stuff to do. So we arranged that, Jim, you were recording this, so you ring me at this time, right? And he went, I said, just do it. So we were into the Herbert Park Hotel in her room, right, and all her PR people. And I said, like, do you remember what's her name? Used to do the
Zoe
interviews
Ball.
in bed. Yeah, on the Big Breakfast.
And Bob
Yeah.
Geldof sex.
Would you be into? We just
No, Geldof's
Paula-
wife.
Geldof,
Paula.
Paula Yates.
Paula Yates
Paula
used to
Yates.
in the
I
bed
said, would you
for
mind?
big
Would
breakfast.
you be into? There's no photos or anything. There was no crazy phones or whatever. Would you be into just lying in the bed? And we do the interview because I'm going to get a phone call. And she was up for it. And she said, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're in the interview about 15 minutes. Phone rings on speaker. And we're recording this for the show. And it's Jim because he didn't know where I was. He said, where are you at? And I said, well, I'm in bed with Posh Spice. And he goes, don't be stupid. Oh, hang on a second. Posh. And she went, oh, yeah, I'm in bed at the moment with your friend Colm. It's great. Yeah.
No, that was David Beckham.
Beckham!
I was in bed. I'm in bed with.
Don't ever do that accent again.
So technically, on air, it went out that I was in bed with Victoria Beckham.
Okay, but go on. What was it like? What did she smell like? How did it feel?
I've never met anybody as skinny,
Okay,
and I've never
really?
met anybody as boring.
Oh,
Really
Wow.
boring.
Colm.
Really difficult to get any answers to the conversation. Constantly, when you probed a little bit, her eyes went over to her
no.
PR people
Oh,
that were
that's
sitting there in the room. You know, like, will I answer that or not? And while the chat was okay, when shutdown came down, it was shut down. Very cold.
Oh,
Very
no.
cold.
I'm surprised to hear that.
And
Okay.
I'd met about 2 weeks before Baby Spice, Emma Bunton, and she was amazing. Absolutely
I
brilliant.
could see you
interview.
vibing with her.
She's so cool. And then Posh, no.
I could see you vibing with Mel B and C too.
So
Yeah.
do you think then maybe because of the way Brooklyn was raised and in this sort of, what would you call, not toxic environment, but this
Bubble of media and
his a bubble of his family. When he married this lady that he's met now, he's experienced life, love, proper happiness, and it just cracked. He just
Yes,
cracked.
you've got to remember, like from 16, Posh Spice was knocked into that world. And image for the Spice Girls was everything.
Was she
you know,
16?
to create Posh, I think she was about 16, yeah. Posh Spice, Baby Spice, you know, all the different ginger spice, all the different images and branding. And her entire life has been about that. So I think when she didn't give birth to a baby, she gave birth to another part of her brand.
Yeah, well, did they name the Brooklyn because he was conceived in Brooklyn?
Yeah, on the bridge.
On the where you walked, you probably walked past the plaque.
Yeah, but I just think that I found her very cool, and I think they're, you know, when you hear David and everything and his justification for doing that ad in Qatar for the World Cup, blah blah blah, it's all just about the brand and brand
We
manipulation.
also need to remember
and
there's
money.
a bunch of millionaire, billionaire, power hungry people here. I think for a second, and like that
In
is a
this
good
room.
story. No, but I think for a second we have to remember here about the wealth behind them and everything. And whatever we think, can we kind of separate that? Like, I love Victoria's makeup brand. It's one of the best. It's absolutely brilliant. I think she's one of the hardest working people in that industry because she's had to be in fashion. If you watch her Netflix documentary, it's like you can see she had to kill it to rein back in some money. I think whatever about their marriage, everyone has different marriages. Whatever we think about Brand Beckham, and then what we think of the Pelses in America, we don't know as much about them in Ireland, but like they are badass Republicans. She's got her acting career. Brooklyn's married into that. I would still stand over here in the corner saying, rightly or wrongly, I don't think any child in an estranged situation where there's a lot of shit going on, whether you're in the media, should put out a 6-page statement about basically about your mom. I don't think whether you hate her, whether you actually love her, whether you're trying to reach out to her, whether you're trying to take her part on behalf of your wife, I think shut it down and stop being such a baby. Like, I think keep your business to yourself.
They don't,
Shut the fuck
but
up.
the Beckhams don't, and
But the Beckhams are not.
Posh
They're not.
doesn't, and
They're not speaking about Brooklyn.
But hang on a second. They tried to manipulate us all into believing that they're this happy family.
Okay, but they're
with
not
their
putting
Netflix
up statements about
but
their
they're
son.
not. And he has 16 million followers, and he lives in that social media world. Like, he's tried it from being the football player to being the chef to, you know, he's 16 million people.
He's been given a lot of opportunity from David and
Well,
Victoria.
no, he hasn't. He hasn't sought that, nor has he had a choice in it. He was born into that, okay? And you can say, well, okay, he's got money and power and everything else. I know loads of people who are extremely wealthy and miserable. And the kid speaks about struggling with anxiety.
Yes, I thought that was good.
And I think, you know, the fact that he wants to speak out his truth, let him speak out his truth. Let everybody speak the truth. Because
Well, what's the point? To what end, Justin? It's just so hurtful to a family. Is it not better to speak to
I
them?
think if you look at what he's saying that they have being out from a media perspective to speak against them. All the stories about the family breakup were all one-sided over Christmas. You know, there was a story about how it all happened. I think the kid has obviously made a decision to speak. He might regret it when he's 36. Who knows? But I don't think that we should inhibit anybody from speaking up. You know, if he was a 26-year-old woman who was speaking about a domineering father and feeling put upon, I think everybody would feel quite different about it. I think because he's a 26-year-old man, it's like, shut the fuck up. You've got loads of money. I don't think that's fair. I think we have to say he should speak. If the Beckhams want to speak, they should speak. And then maybe they come together and realize if we actually resolved our issues, we wouldn't have to do this in public. But the problem is, you know, when you were talking about her and how skinny she is and everything else, it was kind of reminding me of that quote, which I always quite like, and it's very, very controversial. But, you know, the Kate Moss quote is
There's nothing
that
that's
nothing
good as skinny
tastes as
tastes,
good as
yeah.
skinny looks, isn't it?
Nothing tastes better than how skinny feels, isn't that
Yeah,
it?
no.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, the brand that Victoria is in is all about image, and they've grown up all around image. And by the way, I used to own an image rights business like 15 years ago, and we used to manage image rights for some pretty big football players. And we used to use that structure for them to reduce their tax bill. And the Beckhams were actually the people who instigated that. David Beckham created image rights, and he moved his image rights offshore into Guernsey in around 2001. And that's how they made their money. They actually created Brand Beckham, and their image was there, and Ronaldo has followed that, and Messi has followed it, and Wayne Rooney followed it. So it's a well-trodden path. But once you do that, what actually happens is your image becomes a corporation, and it has really, really strict rules as to how you use your image. And they have included their kids in it. So they register their kids as a tax brand.
But you said I mean, that's really interesting because I didn't know that. And it's interesting what you talk about image. But you said something there about, if it's a man, shut up and he's 26 years old, like, wait till you're 30. But I don't think it's that. I think it's even people who do exposés on their family books. I also find that a bit grimy. Maybe I'm a bit of a, like, keep your private business to yourself. Like, I mean, you know this about me,
But is that not the Irish
Colm.
way to just
Yes,
sweep it under the carpet?
Agreed. And
But
Colm,
that would
I
be
would
fine.
say,
That
Colm,
would
I
be
don't think...
fine if he was just came from, like, if his father was, you know, a politician or a judge.
Yeah.
But his parents have an image that they sell.
So you
and
think
they
they're
promote.
feeding the beast a bit and he was just retaliating?
I think
They
they
created the
control.
bed, right?
Do
Now they're all
you?
going to lie in it.
I firmly believe,
Because you're saying
especially
Christmas
as he was growing up,
stories.
they controlled the narrative of his life as he was growing up.
I agree.
You know, they completely and the control of the narrative of Cruise. It's really funny that this morning, whatever day we're in,
His
but this
music, his
morning,
album, yeah.
David and Victoria were very active on social media, on Instagram, promoting their son
So
and
if
the
Alex
new
had
gigs.
a band, would you not promote Alex?
No, it was so obvious today that was the day.
Well, I think
they
it was
did
obvious they
yeah,
weren't going to
yeah.
talk about it.
But I think that the two lads, Brooklyn and Cruz, and then there's the girl as well, which is really Harper, isn't it?
Harper.
Really sad because she was very close to Brooklyn.
And I think apparently she's still talking to him or something.
Yeah. But they created their kids, and their kids became brands, and it's a happy family brand. They sell on happy families. I mean, when it came out a number of years ago, what David said about the organization that gives you a knighthood, and he used the C word about them and everything, they had to backpedal so furiously because that was leaked, and then had to sort things out, and donations were made, and then eventually he became the Sir. It was so important to him, he had to become Sir David and Lady Victoria as the brand development. It wasn't even for his ego, which probably
So
part of
you,
it was.
you don't think they
I
have a
think
good
it's just a
marriage?
brand.
You don't think they have a good marriage?
I think the marriage is a sham, a complete and absolute sham.
Wow.
And I think if you really, really look at the documentary that they did, The Islands in the Stream, dancing around and all this sort of stuff, and look at it thinking this is a manipulated sham, you'll see it.
So
It's
then was he
total
brought up in a
manipulation.
sterile lifestyle? He
it's-
had no love, he'd no thing.
It's
So
very clinical.
This
stepping
idea
out
that there
and
was a
marrying
camera
this
following
woman.
her, David's at the door, and suddenly there's a camera there with David at the door.
Or is
Totally
Nicola
manipulated.
overwhelmed by this mother who's a matriarch of a home who loves, is very touchy-feely, maybe with her son, and very, loves her kids. Let's just give her that.
Hmm.
Did Nicola find that intimidating, didn't like it, didn't want to have to play the game, didn't want to be controlled maybe on red carpets, is trying to carve out her own career, doesn't want to be, and is maybe this whole thing about the inappropriate, I have to say, Colm, Justin, like, the inappropriately dancing, who the fuck in the world would say that about their mum? Most mas, when they've had a few jars at a wedding, are just cringe.com. I
She doesn't
can't
drink.
imagine.
Victoria doesn't drink.
She does drink. She loves her wine.
Mm.
I can't imagine her up grinding on Brooklyn. I mean, I'm like, if it comes out and I'm wrong, but I just can't. So you wonder if this is also a female dominance, a struggle for, is this Nicola in his ear and Victoria, or is it nothing to do with the ladies and Brooklyn's making his own?
I think he's seen a
path?
different life. I think he saw a life of a family that love their child and give her space and let her grow. And he saw for what real love is and should be from parenting. And he said, well, my life is just a
Pulse is
shit
also
show
a brand.
and a fake.
Pulse is also a brand where they're all
Well,
actors,
they are brands, yeah,
multi-billionaires.
but I just-
the
I-
wife is the mom is a model. I mean, to be fair, we don't, when they're not on reality shows, we don't know if they're really happy, and maybe they are. You're correct, but like they're also a even bigger brand than Beckham, aren't they? Really, Pulse are.
But like every picture you see of Victoria and David, and even the kids over the last few years, they're manipulated.
yeah, but
It's
Colm,
staged. It's a
every
total
picture
stage.
Brooklyn puts up of Nicola and him is touching each other and snogging, and
But
stuff.
he
Like,
only
they're
knows.
all
But
the same.
he's getting away from that now. Hopefully, he's getting away from that because he doesn't know any
Yeah, but he's
difference.
doing that with
They
his
were brought.
wife.
They didn't have children. They had commodities, and they were put together, and it was the greatest marriage ever because the brand was huge. Posh Spice with DB7, the best footballer in the world. He looks fantastic. They didn't realize that there's something more important than the brand, and it's called love, and it's not there,
That
and
is
it's
so
never
cute.
going to
I've
be.
never seen you be
And
so
now
cute in
they've
your life.
decided that they will continue, and now their son is calling them out, and there's more to come, by the way, and I know what it is, and I can't say it, but there's more to come. There's
Oh
there's
my God, Pierce Morgan.
there's a woman about to come out and say something that will knock the whole thing up. That's I won't say who she is.
Sorry, if my kid came out and gave a statement like that, this is what I'm just going to tell you. I would never say a thing. I wouldn't come out and retaliate, and I would say nothing. I would actually shut it down. Anyway.
All right. I'm really bored now.
Justin.
Justin.
Oh, come on,
Just
Greenland,
not, the honesty.
Greenland.
Do you know
Greenland.
This is the best thing about this show. Honesty.
Greenland.
Honesty.
I was listening to the RTE Drive Time a couple of days ago, and they were doing this, and Katie Hannon was getting really into it, and they had two other guys talking about it, and
Justin's
and
off to the
Colin
jacks.
Mungan was going.
He's leaving. He's
Colin
getting up.
Mungan
He's
actually
leaving.
went. I'm really not sure who you're talking
That's
about.
hilarious.
And I went,
That's hilarious.
yeah.
Okay, look, we'll be back on Thursday. Like, subscribe, engage if you liked it. But gosh, there's so much to talk about. Okay.
It is Not So Christian Brothers. Thank you. And like, subscribe. And we'll be back next week.
God bless.
God bless everyone.